What up YouTube? This is Steven and welcome back to another video. In this video I want to talk about Utada Hikaru's sales for her CD Fantôme. And this is more or less like an update actually, because I've talked about this previously, but it was more around like, the first 1 or 2 weeks after it was released. But now it's been out for a while, so we can really dig into the sales here. We can really have some conversations about the sales figures. All right. So currently, based on my sources, reported sales figures for physical sales are let's see. It is, I'm guessing, this is strange. I don't think these sales figures are correct. I think the total sales figures, including digital sales, are about at 569,000, 569,963. And I think that's including both physical sales and digital sales. However, digital sales themselves only are about at 23,265 for the sales. All right, so we got some sales figures, right? All right, so let's dig into this. For me, I kind of expected a little bit more in terms of Utada's sales figures. I actually kind of thought she was going to end up becoming a million seller, or rather, the CD was going to end up becoming a million seller at least. However, it did at least, it did go double platinum, which is pretty, respectable. I think part of the problem was that there wasn't a lot of promotion for this CD until the last minute. And I feel like it should have been like a media frenzy, kind of like building up and up and up and up. Because she released 2 videos way back when in April or something. 2 songs with 2 videos, Then she was like Johnny Come Lately in September with that song 2 Hour Vacation, which, did have a strong music video to, accompany it. So I will give her that. But it was well, you had April and you had September. What was happening between the months, between those months? Because that's a bit of a gap, and I don't know. I think Utada was probably doing things behind the scenes, chilling in Italy, being a mom, being a wife, not giving a damn. I don't know. There's a lot of things she could have been doing, legit and not legit. But she's not going to be snatching her record back from Adele anytime soon. And it looks like she's not going to be really setting any records anytime soon. No shade to the Utada Tots. No shade to the Utada Armada. Draw down your weapons, Armada. No shade. I'm just saying, this isn't Utada's year. It should have been though. It should have been, but seemed like these chicks wasn't really sweating Utada that much. I know Namie was still releasing singles. She was just like like it's just another year. Keep releasing. In fact, Namie released 4 singles this year. Which is surprising. But back to Utada. This is an Utada video. All right. So, for me, Utada fell below my expectations. I expected a little bit more from Utada in terms of the sales, I know some people are like, well, sales, they don't really matter. Sales aren't everything, everyone doesn't have to sell 1 million copies, But let's keep it real. Sales do mean something. Let's keep it real. This is the music business. Sales do matter, And while I'm not a super huge Utada Hikaru fan, I was, I was happy for her. I was happy for this comeback, and I was looking for this comeback to be very, big and spectacular. Unfortunately, it was sort of a little underwhelming for me personally. Perhaps if you are an Utada, if you are a part of the Utada Armada, then this comeback, no matter what, was going to be just amazing for you, right? No matter what. So I'm glad that the Utada Armada was able to have this moment that their queen has returned. You know, unfortunately for the people who are not so much a part of the Utada Armada, yeah, it's did she really did she capture any new fans? As far as I'm concerned, I'll still keep tabs on her. You know, did she really win me over with anything? Not really. But to be fair, Utada Hikaru's musical style probably isn't really exactly my style, my thing that I would gravitate towards. But I kind of thought that this comeback would sort of be like, okay, all right, I'm, give me, really, checking for some Utada Hikaru music. But unfortunately, it hasn't. But to be fair, I haven't heard like every single song on the album. I just heard like 4 songs on the album. So there's like 7 songs that I should probably listen to at least. But again, it's the singles that draw you in, though. Really, though, it's the singles. It's not like, oh, people really want to like do exploration and stuff. It's like, oh, this single really bumping. It got me. Doing something. It either got me dancing or got me thinking. You know. And I that wasn't me, that wasn't my experience. But I will say that the music video for 2 Hour Vacation really did kind of like up Utada's music video game, and it really did kind of get me, looking for a second. Like, okay, all right, what's next, Utada? All right, you got my attention now. What you coming out with next? And I think she did something next, maybe. I know she had that song called Michi or something, and it was like a shout out to the gay community or something. Um, yeah. And that's all I heard about. I don't know if there's any other music videos floating around that Utada has made. I know she did like a remake of her video for Hanata Bawa Kimi, A Bouquet of Flowers for You. Um, but yeah, you know, I ultimately, it's just, I expected more. There was more expectations. I had higher expectations for some reason. I guess, partially, Utada is a contender for the Queen of J-pop throne. She is considered one of the queens of J-pop. Usually 3 names come up, and her name is one of them. Um, However, it seemed like, I, you know, I think because of her legacy, she is still like a contender. She still is one of the queens of J-pop. But I think just particular situation here, it just didn't really push forward her legacy that much. But I feel like Utada's going to end up going through a period of a slump for some reason, because I feel like Ayumi Hamasaki is going through it now. And I feel like Utada Hikaru is going to end up going through something similar that Ayumi Hamasaki is going through as far as like her music sales are concerned. Um, and I feel like it happens to all artists. Sometimes it happens to artists and they fall out of the music industry. Sometimes some artists are able to recover and stage a comeback. And I really think that speaks to the artist's impact and longevity, and um, you know their contribution to the music industry. It kind of shows that they aren't just a flavor of the moment. It shows that they are here. They are, what's the word I'm thinking of? Like they are they are part of the music industry. and not just flavor of the moment. You know, and to be fair, you know, Utada did come in and take someone else's shine. Well, not necessarily, but you know, the person left their shine, and then Utada and Ayumi took it, right? Um, you know, and this may be coming back to kind of like karma in a way, you know, like if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me explain. All right, back in the day, like in like you know the late 1990s, you know, there was the queen of J-pop, Namie Amuro. Namie Amuro kind of like ruled the 90s. That was her era, definitely. Namie wind up getting pregnant and getting married, so she had took a break from the music industry to you know get married, be a wife and mom for a minute. You know, kind of like you know take a break from the industry to just you know be pregnant and have her child. Well, when that happened, Ayumi Hamasaki and Utada Hikaru came into the industry. So now I'm thinking, okay, well, you know, this is kind of like karma coming back to bite y'all because, you know, I mean, I'm sure y'all didn't do it on purpose, and y'all was just like, hey, I'm just trying to get into the industry. But, you know, hey, you know, it's live by the sword, die by the sword, right? You know? But I think I've said all I have to say. Ultimately, you know, respectable music sales. I expected a bit more though, but you know, Utada does have a great legacy to fall back on. And to be fair, I don't think really Utada put all the effort that she could have put into it. And to be fair, again, you know, she is kind of like a mom now. And also to be fair, she may not care as much because I think Utada doesn't really care. You know, I think that I guess you know I don't think the fight is in Utada. You know, so yeah, Utada may be falling back and you know exiting gracefully from the music industry. Perhaps you know she may be like kind of like Misha is and just put out albums and stuff and not really do promo and maybe do like videos and stuff. But you know, I think she could I could see her ending up being like Misha. You know, I could see that. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching, you guys. Feel free to comment. Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to give me a thumbs up. Feedback and support are extremely appreciated and extremely valued. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.